Welcome to day number 9 of our bathroom renovations. Now it's been nearly 3 weeks since we've done episode 8 because we've been waiting for the tiles to turn up, and they've turned up finally. Hurrah! But first of all, I need to get the prep finished for tiling. I also need to get this old floor up, also ready for tiling. Then I need to actually do a bit of tiling. And then I need to install the new towel rad because I need that towel rad up and running for another video I'm doing on Residio Honeywell Home balancing thermostatic radiator valves. So quite a lot to do today. So as usual, before we get on with it, shall we see where we're up to? So let's see what we got then. Now, last bit of prep before the tiling gets done is I've got this primer for the walls and this wood, and basically you're putting it on with a roller and it's a bit watery, as you can see, but that's all they reckon you need. Now I've done all the floor, I've taken up all the tiles now, so good camera work from my wife there. So all the tiles are up now, ready for whatever we need to do with the floor to get it to the right height. But I need to get this done, so I suppose I should get on with it. Now that's all the ceiling done. No, it's not a ceiling, it's a floor, but it's been sealed. Anyway, walls have been done, including the plasterboard ones and all the plastered ones. And the wood's been sealed as well. So we're all ready now for the tiling. Now the tiling has finally begun. So you can see my wife's gone for these 600 by 300 shiny white tiles, ceramic tiles. So you can see most of the preparation is key when you're tiling. So basically, got the laser level out and leveled off all that wood. So the tiles are going to sit on top of here. Underneath then is going to be a border, and then obviously white tiles below. So it's finally underway. Now this is the towel rad we're going to be installing. Now then, it can go 2 ways, a towel radiator. You can either have the 2 bars at the bottom, or you can have the 4 bars at the bottom. But some guys say, oh, it's the right way around that, but the reason we should fit them this way, so the actual 4 bars are at the top and the 2 bars are at the bottom, is this is where the towel will be hanging over. So you want your 4 bars there, and obviously because of the height we've got here, we're not going to be putting towels around there, they're going to be around there, around there. So this is the way we are going to install this. So what comes with this actual towel rad? Well, we get 4 of these, which are the brackets for the wall. We get the screws and plugs for fixing it to the wall. And then we get the bleed and we get the plug for the tops here. Now this is going to be our flow pipe, this is going to be our return pipe. So the way I do it is, because this boiler will fill technically on the flow pipe, I'm going to put the bleed here on the return and the plug on the flow. But it doesn't really matter. So what tools do we require? Well, we're going to use a screwdriver. Now note it's a screwdriver, not the impactor, because when I put the brackets on there, I don't want to crack the tiles because they've not been grouted yet. So I'm doing this because of the experiment I'm doing for the automatic balancing radiator valves. So these valves, what are going on here, could possibly be replaced because they will stick out a little bit too far. But anyway, that's by the by. Now, obviously we're going to need the grips, and we're going to need our adjustable spanners, and obviously we're going to need our drill, and we're going to be setting it onto drill action, not hammer action, and we're going to be putting it on speed 2, not speed 1. So, but I'll explain that later. Now, the actual bits I've got for drilling, I've got 4 holes to drill, and I'm going to do a little bit of experiment as well. So I've bought this set off eBay, which are diamond cutters, double made for tiles. So I'm going to be drilling 1 hole with that. And these 3 here, I got off Lidl. So they were in the sale. They were 30% off. So the first one, we've got these assorted drill bits, which do tiles and ceramics and stuff like that. Then we've got these glass cutters, which do glass and tile. And we've also just got standard drill bits for masonry. So we're going to be using one of those. So they're the 4 holes we're going to be drilling. Now also, I've got a bit of spray to spray the tile to keep it wet. I'm going to show you why we need some tape, but that's basically the equipment we need. Now I've also bought this off eBay, and it's a tile centre. So you can use this to stick on your wall, and you can centre your bit so it's not wobbling all over the place on the tiles. So I'm going to be giving that a go as well as doing tape, and as well as just trying to drill through it. So that's the experiment. Getting this tile rod on the wall, drilling these tiles, and seeing which is best. So let's get on with it. Now the first thing I'm going to do is dress this radiator. So remember, this is the top, this is the bottom, and this is the way around it's going to be on the wall. So this is the left hand side. So the first thing I'm going to put in is the radiator tail here. Now I'm using PTFE here, but you could use any pipe jointing compound, liquid PTFE, anything you feel fit to use. But PTFE's always done me well, so I use it all the time. So I'm going to start at the back of the thread here and work to the front with a 50% overlap. And I'm going to do about 10 reps. Don't know how many that was, do you? Anyway. So that's the first tail done, and I'm going to be screwing it in here. So it's just a matter of getting the adjustable spanner on the square and tightening it in, but not over tightening it, because if you over tighten it, you could split this, or you could damage the thread. So that's the tail in. Now this is the plug and vent, and this is where the plug's going in this end. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a rubber washer there, so there's no need to put any paste or anything on there, but obviously if you wanted to, you could do. But I never do, I always rely on the washer. And again, it's just a matter of getting on the flat. And pulling it up. Again, not too tight because you don't want to split the rubber O-ring. Flip over now the rad. But obviously now this is where I'm putting the tail. And again, PTFE, start at the back of the thread. Should we count this time? So that's 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Should look like that. And again, let's screw it in. That's tight enough. So this time, oops, we've got the air vent into this side. Hopefully, the hole where the air and water comes out comes to the front. No, it doesn't. It's to the back. Anyway, that's dressing this towel rod. Let's get it on the wall now. So we've got the last bracket to do. Now, I've asked my wife where she wants these, and she's gone for, obviously in the bottom rail, and in this bottom rail here, and they are 70mm in. And the reason for that is, if they were up here, it stops you getting your towels in. So these are dead straightforward. Basically they're in 3 parts. So that's the bit you fix to the wall. So there's a hole there for you to put into the wall, and then this is what fixes to the rad. So you just need to take this cover off like that, put it somewhere where it's not going to get scratched, and inside there is just a Phillips screw, or is it a posi screw? Anyway, posi by the looks of it. And then you just take the screw all the way out, like this. Slide that through the back, like that, and then that screws onto there. Just get your screwdriver. Screw it till it's nearly tight. So it still slides. Get your tape measure, and I am going 70mm to the centre from the edge, which is there. Just hold the back. And that's as easy as that is. So what I've got to do now is put it up against the wall and mark where these come to. Now I'm quite lucky, my level is magnetic, so I'll just put it onto the bottom here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put it on the pipes, make sure it's on the centre of the pipes, and the clips are flat to the wall, which they are, like that. Now, make sure my rad is level, which it just slightly out my pipework. But I knew that anyway. So I'm just going to move it slightly, a couple of mil, so it's level, and I'm just going to mark the top and the bottom of these holes. Now, I'm using a Sharpie, which is not a good idea, but I'm only using a Sharpie so you can see it. So there are the marks for the clips. So I'm going to take a clip off now, mark these circles completely around, and then find the centre. But these do come with a slot, so as long as you put them that way, it should be fine. So that's the next thing I've got to do. Now what I've done is I've drawn around this, so you can see the pen. It doesn't matter about that because it's going to slide into there. So I'm not drawing around this, I'm drawing around this, because if you mark this, you're going to see it. So I've also got a big screw and I've marked across where the centres are. I've checked with the tiles that they're right, which they are pretty much spot on. So what I'm going to do is kind of use this screw like a centre pop, and I'm just going to gently tap the centre of here, so obviously when the pen wipes off I've still got the marks. So obviously safety glasses on, and I'm just going to put that in the centre. Gently tap and twist so it just takes off the glaze. In the centre. So I've now, steaming up, got a mark in the centre of each hole. Now the first ones I'm going to be using are these glass drill bits, which are for glass and tiles. So this set comes with a 3, 4, 6, 9 and 10, so I want the 6mm one. So that's a 6mm bit. You can see it's got like a little arrow point on the end there. So into the drill we go. I'm going to make sure it goes right the way into the end. And again, make sure we're on drill, make sure we're on speed 2, and we're going to go very slowly. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is wet it. So I've got this little spray, and I'm just going to wet the tile, and now it's taken the pen off, but I've still got my little centre mark. And then I'm just going to, not forget my glasses, and slowly, oh my word, that just flew through there. So that was a good one. Let's try the next one. Now the next one I'm going to try is this 6mm assorted drill bit, which is just a masonry bit. You can see there. Again, I'm going to spray. And again, that went through incredibly easy. Looking good so far. So next bit is a set from eBay, and I've set this little guide up. So again, I need to put my glasses on. Again, I need to spray a bit of water into the holes, and again even that went in incredibly easy, but these are rubbish because it always ends up with that little bit in the middle there. So always struggled with them. So while it's hot, just make sure you get it all out, because once it sets like iron, and then they're useless. So just one to do. Last one is just the standard masonry bit. Again, I've still left it on speed 2 and I've still left it on drill. Now, this is what you could use the tape for, is stick some tape on the wall and then do all your markings, and then use the tape then to guide you in there. Now obviously I've already put my dimple in there, so I just put a little hole in the tape so I know where it is. But yeah, you can use tape instead of doing what I've done here. But again, I still need to spray it with some water. And again, put the glasses on and drill with the standard drill bit. did it, but it wasn't as good as all the others because obviously I haven't got it on hammer, because you don't want to be putting it on hammer, especially when these haven't been grouted yet. But anyway, that's the holes drilled. Now I've put the plugs in the holes already, just knocked them in, been very careful. Now, because the plugs are at the surface here, one of the things you've got to be careful of is you don't crack the tile screwing the screw in. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but this screw is a parallel screw. So if I screwed that in, when it got near the end, it wouldn't be splaying the head of the screw out, which could crack the actual tile itself. So I've just checked the screws what come with the kit, and they are still parallel screws. And again, I don't know whether you can see that, but they are parallel screws. So once they go in and I screw them up, then it shouldn't, hopefully, crack the tile. Now, get this bag open. Now what we're going to do is get the screw, and there's a washer comes in the kit as well, and then we need to drop it inside, so it's like that, and then we get our screwdriver, and then all we've got to do then is screw it up into the hole. Now again, like I say, I'm not using an impactor because I don't want to damage anything. I want to feel it tightening up. And again, this is where a lot of problems are caused by using impactors. This is still cordless. So now near the end, I just need to make sure it's in the centre. So looking down, you can see whether the screw is in the centre or not, where you want it, and just tighten it up. So, 1 down, 3 to go. Also, I don't know if you can see this, there's a little screw hole here where the little screw goes through, which fastens it all up. Now, some guys put them to the bottom, some put them to the top. I like to put them at the side there, so I'll be able to screw them in easier with them on the side rather than trying to mess around at the bottom. Now these holes are actually bang in line with the slot in there, so that's the way I do it. Now, if we've done this correctly, this should just slide perfectly in to the bracket. Oh, look at that. And then if your wall's out, you can actually set your distance off the wall. So that's good for us where we want it. Let me just check and make sure it's level. So it is bang level there. And let's check on this side. And it's bang level that way as well. Now all I've got to do is mark it here and here for the actual rad valves, and then I can put the rad valves on, tighten them up, put these little screws in the side, put the caps on, fill it up, and it's done. Then I've got to take it all back off again to finish the tiling. Anyway, there you go. That's how you get this towel rad in. So how we get the rad valve on, just pull the valve off the brackets a little bit, screw that one on, slide it on, and then it's just a matter of tightening them up. Just the other side to do. So now the rad valves are on, last thing to do is put the caps in. And that's how you install a towel rad. Hope you liked the video. Catch you on the next one. Cheers.